So you're ready to start off week 5 fantasy football.
We're talking about this week's KFFL within the football of the NFL. We're getting the worst games ever, the best games ever, biggest blowouts, biggest losses, big shoves. Someone's getting sued.
Someone's getting sued?
I don't know, maybe Devontae Adams.
Oh, you know what? Explain that to me. I didn't see that. Explain it to me again.
So Raiders are 1-5, just like us, just like Pittsburgh. A little frustrated on the way into the tunnel, shoved a stadium worker on the way in.
He just knocked him over.
Yeah, just
everybody saw it.
Yeah, dude, it was like riot. He wasn't subtle about it. I read about it.
He didn't like jump in his face or like was bragging or something.
Nah, he put out an apology right the next day. Said that's not me.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely something's gonna happen.
The NFL's already looking at suspensions.
Oh wow. Well, he lost it. Lost the game and lost his mind.
The Packers are the only team ever to trade a first-round wide receiver, and this dude's already in trouble. Week 5.
Because you know why? Because he's not used to losing.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
He's not used to losing, and so now he's getting frustrated.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense, sir.
Both these teams don't make sense. Him and the Packers. All right, let's talk about football. Let's talk about the matchups this week. Playmakers go with the next thing is sacred. Playmakers win with 133.4. Got 107.6. Let's look at the pieces.
All right, well, let's look at the quarterback first. First, you got Jalen Hurts coming through again for me, 27.5 points, whereas Russell Wilson.
Let ride.
Yeah. But man, Teddy Bridgewater got hurt early. I remember Sacred texted me. He's like, "Hey man, sorry about your quarterback." And then that's when I looked. Yeah, I didn't even know. And I was like, "Oh my, I can't believe again."
Let's talk about this. So, look at these great quarterbacks all around. Well, one on each side. Jalen Hurts making an MVP conversation. Last minute, it came up to like a field goal between the Arizona game. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah.
Came to the last minute. Kirk Cousins performing well against the Bears. Close game. I don't want to talk about Russell Wilson. That was a horrible Thursday night game.
And that was one of the worst football games I think I've seen in a long time.
Like 2 high school teams. Even when it struck overtime, fans started leaving.
I didn't care.
They want to beat the traffic. They're like, fuck this.
This is horrible. Let's look at the running backs. Ooh, the running backs, we both had a pretty good games on both our running backs, but I just had just a little bit better than he did.
Just Eckler being back in true form. What, he come back 2 weeks ago?
Yep. It's the second 30-point week. Man, yeah, Eckler is looking on fire. Finally. I was like, what are the Chargers were doing the Raiders thing where they're just screwing around and not doing anything, but now, and the Raiders, they're losing.
Josh Jacobs putting up monster points. Derrick Henry, monster points. The only person that's under 20 points is Wilson with only 0.8. All these are great.
Yeah, all the backs came to play.
Exactly. You got 50 alone on them too.
You know who didn't come to play was none of these wide receivers.
No one. Well, CeeDee Lamb had a lot of coverage. He had Jalen Ramsey on the whole time during that Rams game.
Yeah, he made Jalen Ramsey look good because Jalen Ramsey was getting
he hasn't
burnt.
looked good at all in the last few years, and now it's just like not since the Super Bowl. He looked good at the Super Bowl. That's about it. But.
Like against the 49ers, he was getting torched by Debo. You know what I'm saying?
No, he wasn't even good in the Super Bowl. Jalen Ramsey's been like a second afterthought on the rest of that defense.
I thought he had like one good play out of the Super Bowl.
Maybe that's about it.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, let's look at the next matchup.
Look at the next matchup.
We got the big green meaties versus the fluffy little bunnies. Bunnies win 118.5 to 94.6.
5-0, wild team, rooting for them. They're my personal favorites with that stacked team. Josh Allen, one of the best scorers, going up against Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, still putting up 40 points between them. But even with Josh Allen, Jared Goff, 40 points.
Yeah, even with crappy Jared Goff game, Josh Allen just kicked 4 TDs, man. Like, I mean, Patrick Mahomes had 4 TDs too.
400 yards.
Yeah, those yards too.
And that, looking at the runners, nothing too crazy over here. Leonard Fournette looking like Leonard Fournette from 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, touchdown Lenny is what they call him. He's turned it on early. Usually, touchdown Lenny don't show up to like that second half of the season. Yeah, he's here.
He's working out.
Yeah. But besides that, the rest of these backs had pretty poor game. But hey, what you gonna do? Let's look at the wide receivers. They both had a decent wide receiver, but you saw Olave. You saw that hit that he took. He took a nasty hit. I think it was like one of those like late type of swing and slam on the ground. But either way, he got up. He was all dizzy, and he's out.
Oh man,
so that sucks about him. But,
anyway, other player on the air side for the Chargers, Mike Williams. their best receiver, putting up 13.4 points, 134 yards, and 10 receptions.
Yeah.
That's good. That's like over 10 each.
Yeah, Mike Williams definitely stepping, especially with Keenan Allen down. He's been out for a few weeks now, and Mike Williams has definitely stepped up. But you know who's made a step down is St. Brown. Remember, he started off on fire. 1.8. That's the type of stuff that pisses me off.
That Lions team's up and down. We're never going to see it because this is Lions team. It's the curse of Calvin Johnson. I think so.
I think it's curse of Barry Sanders.
That too.
Barry Sanders quitting on that team.
Both of them.
And retiring. Yeah, they both did.
All-star players. Fuck this. Fuck getting a ring. We're out.
Let's look at the next matchup. We got the Armor's Army versus the Swine Riders. Army pulls out the win, 121 to 109.8.
Decent quarterbacks all around. Maybe not so much Ryan Tannehill, but Kyler Murray still pulling in over 200 yards. Geno Smith, still one of our favorite quarterbacks going on this season.
Geno Smith, yeah, he's
making a case.
He's making an MVP case.
He's making the comeback player of the year case.
Definitely that. He got it. Unless he like crashes and burns
or bonds the division
or something like that. But if he keeps playing away, he's got to win that award.
Dude,
MVP is not out of the range, man. He's playing well. He's not turning the ball over.
Him and Jalen Hurts are both gonna be fighting for that. They're great quarterbacks. Him and it might be between them two and Lamar.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson has some bad losses.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Silly looking losses. Let's go back to looking at the run game. Aaron performing decently, not so much on Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, that's probably his first bomb too, because he's been playing pretty well for the Chiefs.
That monster game.
Yep.
Chubb performing over 20 points. Dalvin Cook over 20 points. Christian McCaffrey still doing up to par. I'll take that.
C-Mac, there's rumors of him getting traded.
What?
Because you heard the Dolphins fired their head coach. And then they got a new guy in there, and they're already talking.
The Dolphins or
not
the Panthers?
The Panthers. And then the new guy in there is already talking about, well, we're going to find us a quarterback. We might already have him, or we're going to go find him. So that means they're going to rebuild.
Dude, it's a rebuild, bro.
Yep, and that means they're going to trade. If they're going to rebuild,
that's the best
trade
piece.
C-Mac, because you can get all kinds of draft picks and stuff for him.
That's the best piece on that team. There's no one better on that team for like fantasy points.
If they trade him, the Panthers lose the rest of the season.
They had to tank, pretend lose.
Anything you see on the bench?
Nothing, man. It's weird seeing. I should have started Tony Pollard for the running game because I knew they were gonna block Zeke more. But Cowboys high defense against the Rams.
Rams are playing horrible.
It's the Super Bowl hangover.
And what's his name? Matthew Stafford. He's so locked on Cooper Kupp.
Dude, he got more targets.
He's not throwing to Allen Robinson. What happened to that other Ram wide receiver, Vance Jackson? Is he injured or something? Like I didn't hear nothing about him anymore.
And then he doesn't have OBJ anymore. It's just weird.
It's weird how bad they got and just over the offseason.
Last year we talked about them every week almost. Just 2 players, 3 players.
Yeah, now it's like.
Anyway, next matchup.
Yeah, because I did enjoy talking about the Breakfast Club. Oh, well.
Gone Postal going up against Oswald Moose with the win with 99.6 against 69.3. Let's look at those quarterbacks. No one over 20. Gosh, even T. Brady almost got there in that railroad.
Trevor Lawrence is going backwards, and
I dropped his ass for Geno Smith.
Oh, that's a good switch up right there. Yeah.
I'm surprised no one else did. Zach Wilson, decent game. Even though they killed the Jets, it was more that run game helping out. Derek Carr couldn't finish the job against Kansas City.
Never can.
I
don't know. I'm starting to think, man, Derek Carr is just not that guy.
He's a has-been quarterback. I ain't saying it like that because I used to believe in that guy.
Yeah, I used to believe him too, but he never seems to get it done.
Big size.
Let's go look at the running backs, and Saquon Barkley is back to being old Saquon Barkley. I think
he looks like the draft year Saquon.
Yeah, he's looking good. Besides that, man, the rest of these backs look.
Joe Mixon close the game with Baltimore, didn't put in the yards. Gets put in the yards. Robinson not so much. Put up against Houston, garbage game. Sanders. I mean, Jalen's doing all the work throwing it, so.
And he's running it too. I think Jalen had 2 rushing TDs, so yeah. But Sanders was killing it though the last few weeks.
I think they're just playing around with what they can do.
Yeah.
They got options between both of them to run.
Yep. So let's look at the wide receivers, and this is when Postal took over. Jefferson and Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams had 3 receptions, 124 yards, 2 TDs. What more does he want?
The winning record. That's hard.
I was like, I thought he had a bad game, but that's a good game right there.
Yeah, well, I'm happier. Look at Justin Jefferson. Still gets the W. 12 reception, 154 yards. Still puts in more work. They get the win.
Yeah, that's what it is. We got to get that win.
Jamar Chase, not jack shit. Terry Hill, not jack shit. Playing with third string quarterback.
Yeah. Dude, Metcalf, man. Those Seattle wide receivers are actually turning out to be pretty good. Right?
He's playing with all of them. Geno Smith doesn't have a number one. They're all number one to him. He's making it work.
You see that touchdown that Metcalf got too, because he caught it probably like around the 7. Then he just darts forward, but he just darts forward full speed with his weight, and those other guys didn't even try to block it.
He's like, I don't want to get struck by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be scared just to like.
Yeah, because he's so huge. He was way bigger than those corners.
Even if you're bigger than him, I'd be scared.
But they are, man. They're corners and safeties, and they're also these small guys, and you see this giant. Yeah.
That's weird.
All right, let's go to the last matchup.
Last matchup goes between Mike's Mafia versus Bounty Hunters. Close game, only won by 1.2, 89.5, winning over 88.3.
Ooh, close
what
one.
The? But look, quarterbacks we haven't seen in a while. Andy Dalton.
Yeah, quarterback play was pretty poor all around between all 4 of these guys. All of them got less than 15 points. You want your quarterback to get at least
Justin Herbert usually throws for over 300 yards, only 228.
Yep. They all just had tough games.
Matt Stafford, interception. Andy Dalton, interception. Lamar Jackson, interception. Those are points off the board. Other than that, run game looks decent for Alvin Kamara. He's looking true to form, but had a fumble. If he didn't have that.
That was a nasty fumble, too. That ball went flying out of there.
Jesus Christ.
James Conner got hurt, and he might be done. Well, I don't know if he's done.
He'll be out a couple of weeks, if not a week.
And then Hines got hurt pretty badly. You see he got hit, and he had one of those hits where he got up all wobbly.
That's why that game felt super slow, because he wasn't running that shit.
Yeah, and so they took him out, and then now that he had that massive concussion, I think since Tua, now every time something like that happens, like they're taking him out and they ain't coming back till they're 100%. Like I imagine it's gonna be weeks.
Dude, it's just weird because like
they already said Tua's not coming back next week either. Which
he shouldn't.
He shouldn't come back for like a month.
I think it's two ways. I think players know the risk they're assuming doing this shit, but also the staff should be a lot better about assessing when it's proper time to go back.
Yeah, like, don't let the player. Don't be letting the player decide if they're fine. They're not doctors. They're tough guys. Of course, they're gonna say they're fine.
But it's like I hope this doesn't like set back the game, makes it like a much softer game. Which
I have a feeling that something's gonna change because they're having a lot of players getting up wobbling this year.
Let's talk about the after talk on that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I mean, Mike's Mafia, the win, 1.2 over. That's good.
Yep.
You just won.
Lucky ass. All right, let's talk about the MVP and the dog.
MVP and the dog. Josh Allen, the usual MVP, putting up about 35. Is it 35 points?
He put up 35.5. I thought. Let me.
No, 35.0.
35. Yep.
424 yards, 4 touchdowns, and with an interception, he still got you all those points. Woo. Buffalo Bunnies with the top players, even Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, man, like. How many times has he? I gotta look at it.
We're always talking about it for the last year and a half.
He scores a lot of fantasy points because he does everything.
Oh, it's a 2-quarterback league too, but also, yeah, he's just very entertaining.
Sometimes just having one good quarterback to cover you for.
But dude, I was like watching him play. It's always between him, Justin Herbert putting up the yards, or Lamar Jackson. But Josh Allen's definitely the one you can bet on the most and win.
Yeah. So MVP Josh Allen, the dog of the week, goes to Russell Wilson.
Bronco Nation, let's ride.
He passed for 274 but had 2 interceptions, and he just looked horrible if you saw that game.
Dude, that's the biggest. We said this last week. That's the biggest loss ever for the Denver Broncos franchise, who was out on Geno Smith. He's killing it in Seattle.
Yeah, and that was a bad loss too because the Broncos were winning, and Russ threw that interception at the end gate, let him hit that field goal to tie to go to overtime.
You should see the tight end there into the freaking field, and he freaking like landed on the ground stomping it because he was wide open for that pass. Even the Broncos mascot in the background leans down, hits the floor because he knew that was bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Russell Wilson. Like, did he lose it, or is he just not clicking with his team?
You think he's trying to prove something? Like he can do all the work out there?
He ain't doing none of the work.
Exactly. I think he's overthinking it.
I don't know, but Russell Wilson, dog of the week.
I don't like him.
I started to like Russell Wilson towards the end of his Seattle career.
Really? I liked him more in the beginning. I thought he was a little cocky, but I still liked him because he made the plays.
Nah, I don't like him. at the beginning.
He was more of a dual threat back then, too. He ran more.
Yeah, he did. But there's something about him I didn't like back then. But I started liking him. But now, it's just cringy and he's bad.
He's just a big dog of the week.
All right, man. Let's do some football talk.
Let's talk about some football talk.
All right. So, first, I want to talk about that old Brady roughing the passer play. Did you see that play?
Oh, man. That was the softest roughing the passer ever.
They're talking about changing the rules because of that now. Because they're talking about changing the rules and like defining more what roughing the passer is and what considers a rough pass for a quarterback.
That's silly. That's really like hugging him down.
Yeah, that was like the softest way you could tackle him down.
Even with the roughing the passer yesterday on I was on Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes. Who was it last night? There was a roughing the passer call on last night's game too. Chiefs defense stripped the ball.
Oh, that's right.
Carr, and they called it a roughing the passer.
And then people were, because he wasn't even going for the tackle. He was going for the football.
Yeah, and he stripped it while knocking him down.
Yep.
That's his fault for falling down.
It's not his fault that he's 300 pounds and Derek Carr is like 180 or whatever.
Yeah, of course you're going to get bruised by this dude. He's trying to get the fucking ball out your hand. Those are two different plays in one weekend.
They got to do something about that, man.
They got to do something about like actually fucking punishing real calls where people get hurt.
Yeah, and
like dirty plays.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, but it just looked bad because, of course, Brady, as soon as he got tackled, started flipping out, and then they changed the call. They didn't change the call, but they just called it late.
I don't care how old he is. I don't care how special he is.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like,
even MJ wasn't getting this kind of treatment when we went over to the Wizards in basketball.
No.
Refs still were like, look, I don't know, man. I didn't see what you see.
Yeah, Brady's he's a
princess.
Yeah, I'm about sick of Brady.